These animals are dangerous, can get very aggressive. You've got to get them in the squeeze chute so we can give them their vaccinations. Big Joe is a very nice, calm bull, and then when you put him in a corner, that changes a little bit. He's not trying to hurt anybody. He just wants out.
Yeah, what is he doing? He's getting all riled up. Big boy, you okay? He's thirsty now. Man, he's been running. I'm thirsty. What you getting all riled up for? Huh? So Brooks and I were just out here feeding, and Big Joe is getting all worked up. We're not sure what is going on. Dunbar eats about, I don't know, 50 yards from him or so, but Kevin's mowing. So I just assumed the mower's got him all off course here or something, but he is hyped up for sure. He's showing all signs of aggression. He's been running up and down his pen, tongue out. He had to stop and get a drink of water. And Dunbar's not even close. Well, here he comes. Oh, Dunbar's getting all worked up. These two guys, like two guys, all worked up. It's crazy. And just random times this guy gets all... See, Dunbar's showing up now because of the sounds and all that stuff. Jeez. Okay, buddy? Getting all worked up. See, there's Dunbar down there behind Eleanor. Big Joe is not happy about something. I don't know what Brooks is. You're just eating. Don't seem to bother you. It must be the mower or something, because the calves are all hyped up and Big Joe's hyped up. It must be the mower. It's got him going or something. Kevin's out there mowing. I don't know what in the world is going on. Hope you guys enjoyed the video of watching Big Joe. Just something random, like a mower gets him all hyped up, and Brooks and I just happen to be out here catching him do that. So he is just a big beast. When he moves around like that, it's fun to watch. But hope you guys are ready. It is that time of the year. It's spring vaccinations time. It's time to work the bison. So if you haven't, go back and watch some of my videos, or just get ready for this one, because it's always a show when you work the bison here. This place will get a little bit wild. It's energetic, it's stressful, but it's all good because we got to get the bison worked, and we try to keep them as healthy as possible. So stay tuned for next week's video, guys. We'll be working the bison. I've got everybody here with me helping, and just hope you're ready for it. Stay tuned for it as we get our spring vaccinations, and we'll see if we can get Big Joe on the scale for the third try. Third time. We'll see. We failed the first two times. We'll see if we can get Big Joe worked, because he's never been through a squeeze chute before. So we'll see. Yeah, what is he doing? He's getting all riled up.
Go ahead and just talk about and explain some of the things that someone like me or him saw for the first time, that never seen animals being worked, that might be alarming, like trying to jump over the fence, or a horn getting knocked off, or an animal that looks like it's circled and stressed. What are some of the things to explain that to your viewers that might be alarmed at some of that, or seeing a hot shot? And so what are the purposes of those things, and why do they happen, and helping the audience understand why those things are happening?
Yes, no, I know what you mean, and I do get that, and that's what I think about too, is like the poking and the prodding. That's just part of it. A lot of my followers kind of wonder And when I work the bison, how come we poke them or we hot shot them, or how come we do all these things, or why do we do this to them? When you go back and you watch and you see what we did with Big Joe, we poked at him and we hot shotted him for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, maybe even longer. But what you guys have to understand is you're dealing with a big animal. And like I said, these are not sheep or goats where you can just kind of shove them through. These animals are dangerous and can get very aggressive. And Big Joe, first of all, is a very nice, calm bull. And then when you put him in a corner, that changes a little bit. He's not trying to hurt anybody. He's not trying to hurt me or anybody. He just wants out. He just wants out of that pen. But what you guys have to understand, or what my followers, I would like for you guys to understand, is we have to poke them to try to get into situations. I can't play soft music for them. I can't walk them in there with a cube. I can't do those things. That's just not how it works. It doesn't take long to be in this business to figure that out. We do have to poke those animals, and if you think I'm the only one that does it in this country, you're wrong. There's a lot of people that do it. Is it my favorite thing to do? No. Do I want to have to poke them and prod them? No, I don't. But that's just the way it is. Because if I didn't, I'm going to come out here someday and they're going to be dead. And then you'll be really upset at me. Or we'll really have problems if I had a dead animal out here. Because if I didn't do those things, we will have those issues. Because you've got to get them in the squeeze chute. You got to get them caught so we can give them their vaccinations, or we'll have big problems. I wouldn't have bison. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to make videos for you guys and have this content of showing these fantastic animals. So when I do those things, I don't enjoy it at all. I want you to understand that. But this is something that we have to do to get to that objective and get that taken care of and get them vaccinated.
You're gonna have to get rid of it.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker with Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back to our channel. Big exciting day. This is time to work the bison. It's our spring vaccinations. I don't know if it's my favorite day of the year. I don't think it's my favorite, but it's probably one of my most high stress days of the year for sure. Remember, we do this twice a year, and this is our spring vaccinations. Today,
We've got Doc Parsons from Stratford Animal Hospital. Guy I always talk about, Bison guy. He's coming down today. He wasn't able to make it in the fall for our vaccinations. We've already got him caught in one of our new holding pens. It worked great. I caught him last night. I got him a bale of hay and they're hanging out right now. So I've got Cole here today, a good friend of mine. I brought another buddy, Chandler, and then I've got Kevin today, of course, and then my wife Marissa is going to help out, and then Boone is going to join us as well. Daniel from Arms Family Homestead will join us as well. So yes, a very high stress day. It's stressful for these animals. We try to get them worked as soon as we can and kick them back out to the pasture, but if you've seen any of my previous videos, it can get a little crazy. Anytime you work these bison, you put them in a stressful moments. My bison, you get to see the other side of my bison today, and that's just part of it. These animals have to get worked, and for their summer, or they have to get their vaccinations for the rest of the spring and the summer to get them through for parasites and worms and those things that can harm the animals. So it's just a thing that we have to do. And Kevin and I have worked really hard on the equipment, our handling system. We've put a lot of changes in it. We got some new gates and stuff, so I'm excited to see how it goes today. But it's a stressful day for sure. We want everybody to be safe, and we want the animals to be safe as well, and make sure that they properly get vaccinated and that they're put back out in the pasture. We're gonna work all 14 today. Now when I say that, you know that that number 14, Big Joe, I don't know if he'll work again. We're gonna try it probably. You guys know I'd like to get him on the scale because I don't know his exact weight yet, but we're gonna work at least 13, and if Big Joe doesn't want to go, then we're just not gonna push him, because when you're working with an animal that big, it's just not worth it. And he's pretty healthy, and he's about to be 7 years old, so he's kind of set in his ways, if you want to call it that. So anyways, hope you guys are ready for an exciting day. And if you want to see a show, watch the Cross Timbers bison herd being worked. Let's get it going. So it is a sloppy mess. We've had, I don't know, 2 or 3 days of rain, just constant rain, not heavy, but just constant rain. So it is muddy. I've got my high-C mud boots, but should be fun running through this stuff today. I'm not super excited to get in there and run with them very much. So, but hopefully everything goes good. Come on, Peaches. Here, I'm in there. Somebody got their pink rope? Okay.
The pink rope. The pink rope.
Good?
No, one more.
Okay.
Again?
Raining through.
We're never gonna get a weight on that guy. That's
3 times in a row. We're trying to get him work because he, what do you need, Doc? Oh, yeah. He's getting a little feisty with Big Joe, so we had to get him worked. This is from one of yours too. Marissa, the next one is Big Plum. I mean, it was always when I walked by the. Hold on. Oh, okay. Doc, is your...
Pretty close, so she's only got
She is pregnant?
about 7 months.
Gosh.
You thought you were gonna have to get rid of her if she didn't have a baby this year, huh?
But yay! That's exciting!
Or heifer. 3-year-old heifer.
Supposed to be a gun bar.
Yeah.
Are you ready to let her out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
We're good. 870.
That's, the vet said your animals and your facility look a lot better than last time.
Not one on this side. Not one on this side. Yeah, there's one there. 840 874 936.
This rope?
You got him. We're good.
It's a.
This is. There she is. Hair, I guess. Back here.
Push in and back. Put your number in.
Yeah. Okay. Does it matter which RFID? Do you want to pull hair out also? Might as well.
You're not gonna keep her.
Yes, I am.
That's what I was asking.
It's gonna.
How do you put your finger?
Whatever.
It was good. It was a lot of fun. We gotta get that.
There's Dale was there. I figured he'd be there. He posted something the other day. He is funny. I like him.
I think there's.
He is. He's clear. I like him.
He's a cool dude.
Coming at you, Cole. This is Eleanor's little boy.
Cover their butt quack.
Oh my god.
That's the one I use with my kids all the time. Oh, really? Why does Donald Duck have to wear a belt? His butt quack's always showing.
Freaking hilarious. He's a goober. A Ford Mustang and put a 12-valve
That's all.
Let me just try to get her.
Yeah, whichever one we...
He just well open the gate. He fixed.
Truck. We're gonna load him up. Take him to Stratford if we can load him up.
Wish us luck.
All in my face. Yeah, thanks. We're gonna need the luck. See if we can get him loaded. Get the trailer.
Oh yeah. Hey, close it. Close the close back one. There we go. But as a group, they went down to 5'10". Yes, it is. We started doing
A dally. Oh. Wrap around. No distance. Dodge the crawfish. Watch out for the big. You can't hold it with just one. You get too meat.
There we go. Hey! What's he weigh? Hey, Big Joe!
1885. Anything now?
Dusty, we got need another chainsaw.
Sorry.
Okay, let's take them off.
Good job, everybody.
Down to like 2 minutes of time on the start. Better than the alternative.
Anything now? Woo! Hey, you want to record?
Man,
He's here.
he's here. You got him.
I'm not going to show you guys. You're gonna
Okay. Doc, you want to open this and then I'll do this?
Yep. You ready?
Everybody ready?
Good. Finally, third time's a charm. Fourth?
D is in dog, K is in Katie, G is in girl.
all that anger just went away, didn't it?
Wait on you, Doc.
It's too big, so we can't squeeze it.
We'll put tagging here, but
Okay.
Actually, I'm not going. He was kicking it.
Yeah, looks like it. There's a good one on that one.
we gotta have 10.
Oh, 10?
Oh yeah.
Got any thoughts on working him through, finally getting him through after all that?
Just being resilient, I guess. Just being resilient, I guess. Is the word I'm looking for.
Determination?
Yeah, determined. Doc was
Grit?
determined. Doc was determined.
Yes, Doc was.
I think he had plans this afternoon. He just didn't want to have to go back and take care of that.
I agree. He said he's already destroyed your career.
It's training.
He feels defeated.
I thought my brand new gate was gonna outlast. Not so much. Let's put a safety latch on that just in case.
If you were talking to someone who was trying to start their own herd and having to work their own animals, what are some things that you've learned that could really help them with the prep work and the laying the foundation of what you and Kevin have been doing over the last couple of days to really make today a little bit easier and more successful than it was before?
Yeah, okay. All right, let me start off with Big Joe, and then I'll come back to that. Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Doc, if it wasn't for Doc, I don't know what we would have really done. I think Kevin or my wife, Marissa, would have probably just made a stop at some point and quit messing with Big Joe. But, man, we were just persistent with him, and Doc was like, you've got to win. He said, you got two options. One, we can load him up in the trailer, or you need to get him worked here. Those are your two options. You can't let him go at this point. And so, because remember, Big Joe had never been through a squeeze chute. He'd never been really worked at all. And so he's about to be 7 years old. He's a large animal, and it's very difficult to kind of handle that situation. So we got him in there. He got out, got him back in. In the middle of all this, when we couldn't get him to go down the actual lane into the tub, I had hooked onto the gooseneck trailer, backed the trailer up, getting ready to load him out. We're going to take him to Stratford. Well, by the time I got backed up, this is, I don't know, 20 minutes later, they had slowly got him into an area where he was. I guess he was tired of us by now. He was worn out. And he finally got him into an area where we could shut a gate and chain it where he couldn't get out. And then all of us together, kind of with Doc's ideas of using a panel to make him go straight. See, the problem is he's like a bucking bull. He gets in there and he's spinning around, backing around with those hips. He's fast. And Doc came up with an idea, and we made it happen. And finally got him lined out, gave him a little poke in the butt, and got him to go down the alley into the holding areas, into the squeeze chute. Got his weight for the first time since I got him, and that was just super exciting. I think everybody was yelling. I'm yelling at my wife, trying to get her to slam the gate, and it was just exciting because everybody had known how difficult he was. But, you know, Doc said, you've got to beat him. You've got to let him know who's the dominant today, who's the dominant person today, I guess, whatever. And so we won today. We defeated Big Joe. He's beat me twice now, but today we won. And so that's just the beginning of him. We've got to be able to keep doing that. He's going to test us again like he did today for 45 minutes or maybe an hour, but we won at the end of the day, and I got his weight. I think it was 1,800 pounds, 1,880 or something like that. I think what he weighed, which I knew he was in the 1,800 range or 2,000. So that was awesome. We got his vaccinations done. We got his hair pulled to get him registered, and I can find some genetics out about him. So a lot of good stuff happened today, and then a lot of scary stuff happened today, especially working with him. And that kind of brings me into, if you're getting into this, something that I've learned in my short 3 years of raising these guys, one is you gotta have your own working facility. You can take them to a vet if you want. You're gonna take risk of moving them back and forth in a trailer. I lost an animal my first year from getting gored because too tight in a trailer. I was taking him back and forth to the vet. After I lost that heifer, I stopped, and we invested in a handling facility. Now, it's taken 2.5 years to build that over time because it is a process to adapt to these animals. And so, like I said, every time we work them, we learn from it. And then we remember how the situation happened, and then we build off of that so that it doesn't happen again. Now, if I didn't have Big Joe, we probably didn't have to make so many adjustments. But because of who he is and how big he is, we have to beef up our system a lot. And because we have to stay safe, and we want to keep him safe. But if you're wanting to start raising bison and you're interested in it, you really have to be serious, because when you work with these animals, they're great right now, and they're nice and calm and majestic. They're out here grazing, and it's great. But when you pin them up, that all changes.
Doc was determined.
Yes, Doc was.
I think he had plans this afternoon. He just didn't want to have to go back and take care of that.
I agree.
No,
He said he's already destroyed your corral.
It's training. If you let them get away with it, man, I'm telling you, it takes years.
Well, yeah. Not so much. We just wrapped up our spring vaccinations, and it ended up being a beautiful day, even though we've had rain the past 3 days. But as these bisons start to go into the season grazing, this is their grazing time, and it's what they're great at, greatest grazer of North America. As they go into that season, they've got to be ready for those parasites, because we have them in pens, we have them in fences, they're not roaming up and down the Great Plains of North America. We have to vaccinate so that they don't get sick. So that's why we work bison, because if we didn't, they're going to get wormy, and they'll start losing weight. Those parasites will get in their intestines, and before you know it, if you don't pay attention to your animals, you'll lose your animals. And so it's a very stressful day, and you know, we had several people out there with me today helping and helping me film and whatnot, and it's I'm sure it's stressful for them too. There's a lot that goes on, and a lot of moving parts when you're dealing with 1,000, and in case an 1,800 pound bison. It can get pretty tricky. It's very stressful on them. They're a very social animal, and they get stressed out real easy. Mine are pretty calm because, as you can tell, I spend a lot of time with mine. And you've watched some of my videos compared to a lot of bison. And so what we do is we have to work our bison twice a year, which I'll talk about working our bison. What does working our bison mean? Working our bison is getting them in a pen. I get them in a small area, and then I transition them into an even smaller area, and we put them in a squeeze chute, and that's where, as you'll see, Doc Parsons from Stratford Animal Hospital, my bison guy, gives them vaccinations, and we're giving them wormer. We're giving them anti-parasites. Vaccinations is all we're doing. There's no steroids or any antibiotics or nothing like that necessarily. Any hormones for these animals. It's all strictly for their health. We do it once in the fall, and we do it once in the spring. So a couple other things we did today is we also pulled hair. The best place for to really get a true DNA hair sample is from their tail, and Doc Parsons pulled their hair from the tail, and I guess that's the strongest point to get that DNA sample from an animal, well, I guess without drawing blood. So you can pull hair, we package it, we put their registration numbers on it, and that will go to a lab. I think it's UC Irvine is where that goes, and it will be looked at, and that DNA will be diagnosed basically, or it will be observed, and it will be able to find out genetically where that bison originates from. And it's specifically, it's each individual animal that we pulled hair from that they'll be given an identification number, and that will basically be put in the National Bison Registry that anybody in the world can have access to. So Dunbar, for example, or Big Joe or Eleanor, those animals will be completely registered now. And if I sell one of Dunbar's bulls or heifers at some point, and somebody buys it or whatever, they can go back and see his lineage. They can see the genetics of where they come from, of Dunbar or whoever it may be, in a national registry for my bison. And there's a lot of producers that do this too as well. So that's why we pull hair, and plus it's just fun to know where they're from. I don't know where Big Joe, Kit, and Flo originate from. I was told from the original owner from Kansas, different parts of Kansas. Well, I mean, there's a possible chance that they could have come from the Tallgrass Prairie Preserve. There's a chance that they could have come from, you know, Custer State Park. There's no telling where their genetics come from. And so when you register them, I'm going to be able to kind of link that together and hopefully see where they're coming from. We also did preg checks today, and that's where basically the vet goes in, and he's done it for so long, he can feel the calf, and he can basically tell the age of the calf and how far along the mama is. So I think we only had 2 that didn't that are open and that didn't get bred this year, which 2 of them I knew probably weren't. I had a surprise on one. My cow over here on the left, she doesn't look great right now. She's lost some weight, but she's actually 4 months pregnant. Dakota, in the fall of 2019, I had to take her to Doc, to actually his clinic, to get her worked because she was diagnosed with anaplasmosis. She probably lost like 400 pounds. A lot of weight for a really good looking cow. So last year she didn't have a calf, and this year she's pregnant, and so that's super exciting for her to make a major recovery, because she looked terrible, but we got her on the good side of things, and so I'm anxious to see her have a calf as well. So we got a lot done today. Yeah, we got a lot done today. I think everything went well. I think that the herd, my main herd, which is Dunbar and the females, and then I've got 3 calves. Eleanor went relatively good, and then Big Joe, the 2 females with Big Joe, Kit and Flo, and I think that all went pretty smooth. Kevin and I have spent a lot of time and put a lot of effort into our handling system. Because of the animals. You have to take care of these animals, and you have to have safe pens for them, because they are beast of an animal. And so we've worked hard on that, and that's the thing about with these bison, is every time we work them, we learn something new. We learn what are the mistakes we have to fix when we work them. And I think this is the 4th time I think we've worked them here at our own facility, and it's every time we learn something. So it's good to do that. It's good for us, but I think the main herd did really well. And then the also exciting thing was we finally, with the perseverance of Doc, if it wasn't for him, I don't think we'd have done it, but if it wasn't for Doc telling us that we have to defeat Big Joe today, we have to beat him today, it's not going to be we're going to let him win day, we made it happen. I think it may have taken 45 minutes, maybe. He said, you got 2 options, because he had already got out of the holding area at one point. If it wasn't for Doc, I don't know what we would have really done. I think Kevin or my wife Marissa would have probably just made a stop at some point and quit messing with Big Joe. But man, we were just persistent with him, and Doc was like, you've got to win. He said, you got 2 options. One, we can load him up in the trailer, or you need to get him worked here. Those are your 2 options. You can't let him go at this point. And so, because remember, Big Joe had never been through a squeeze chute. He'd never been really worked at all. And so he's about to be 7 years old. He's a large animal, and it's very difficult to kind of handle that situation. So got his weight for the first time since I got him. That was awesome. We got his vaccinations done. We got his hair pulled to get him registered, and I can find some genetics out about him. So a lot of good stuff happened today. But if you're wanting to start raising bison and you're interested in it, you really have to be serious, because you've got to invest in some good equipment. You just go out, and I know it's very expensive because it takes a while to start actually making some money off these animals and having an income off of them. But it's all part of an investment, because you're not working cattle, you're not working pigs, you're not working sheep. You're working essentially a sort of wild animal. It's in their blood. I know it seems like they're domestic animals, but there's wild in that blood. And when you pin them up and you put them in those situations, they get stressed out, and it can be dangerous. And working with like an animal like Big Joe is dangerous. But if you want to have good animals and you want to see production, you want to see them have babies, and you want all those things, you want to have that income, you're going to have to work them. With where they are at today, like I said, they're not roaming in the Great Plains. No fences. It's not like that. They're in a fence today, and because of that, we have to manage that by giving them vaccinations. And so as a beginner, you need to have somewhere where you can work them. You need to find a good vet that knows a little bit about bison. But something that really kind of encompasses all this is you just got to be with them. You got to spend time with these animals. You got to watch them. You got to learn from them. And when you do that, and you pay attention to the animals, and you start feeding them or something, you start learning how to get them in a corral. Those things, which takes time because you got to spend it with them, then you can start to figure your system out. And everybody's system is completely different. Everybody's is different, and they do it different ways. You can learn new tricks from other producers like I have over time, and I get tips from people, but it's all about you spending time with them, reading them, watching them. They get used to you, and then figuring out how to catch them and then work them in your own facilities. But it's got to be priority to get these animals worked. As a new producer, you just need to know that ahead of time, that you're going to have to spend some money into that, because you can't go half due. Half due will give you half due animals if you're not going all in. You got to go all in on these things if you want to do it right. And so that's just what I encourage as a young producer. We did have a situation where one of the cows, Flo, who was with Big Joe, she got her head stuck between two gates, or got a horn stuck between two gates, and basically broke a horn off. She'll be fine. As you know, a year ago, Eleanor, a sweet little Eleanor, she broke her horn, but it's growing back, and basically it just pops off. But it's a shell, and it just pops off, and it will grow back. The blood will stop bleeding. It'll clot naturally on its own. But if those are the worst things that happened, then we're good. We're great. None of them jumped over the crowd. None of them escaped. Dunbar didn't escape. Hey, that's the first time Dunbar didn't escape. So Daniel can't use that as a line anymore. So there was a lot more positives today than there was negatives. I mean, so after we worked at Bison, Doc and I were able to talk, and what we, he's been in this business for so long. He's been to a lot of ranches. The guy's traveled to Alaska. He's been all over the country. He's taken care of a lot of very important bison. He's been involved with a lot of bison herds, including Yellowstone and like remote Alaska herds as well. So the guy knows his stuff, and that's why I'm so blessed and lucky that he's 35 minutes down the road from me, and we're able to get him here to help work our bison. He can come in, he can give pointers and stuff, but today after we worked the bison, he was able to tell me some adjustments that I can make. Because when you have an animal like Big Joe, like I've said, it changes things up because he doesn't know how to be handled because he never has been. So, you know, Doc was able to tell me, hey, we need to add a tub here. You need to add a swinging gate where it locks. So Big Joe, once he's, and these bison are like this, is whenever once they find an exit or they find a weakness, they will exploit that to their advantage and will go back to that. Luckily today, he got through a gate, and you know, we slowed down and we kind of just shoved him slowly back in. Took 30 minutes or so, but we slowly got him back to an area where we could actually get him down the alley and get him in the squeeze chute. But with all of that are the problems that we had, and it took so long. Doc said, hey, do this, do that, and we made those adjustments on the fly. We used a panel with the help of Kevin and Boone and Doc and I, you know, poking him a little bit. We used the panel to shut him off so he couldn't turn around like a bucking bull so fast, and we made him go straight, that's why he didn't want to do. But once he did it, he went straight through there. He walked through the alleys, we slammed gate, he was on the scale, we got his weight, and then he went in the squeeze chute, and we won, like I said. But so it's nice for Doc to tell us, you know, hey, you need to put a tub here, you may change the gate here, make this smaller, and that's all part of the learning curve that goes with that. So just a huge help for him to be there, such an advantage, and especially as a beginner bison rancher, to learn from so much experience all over the country, and to have him right here and kind of tell me what I need to fix and stuff. And we'll do that. But you know, the next 6 months, 7 months, that's what we'll do, and we'll get prepared for the fall. We'll get prepared for October, November when we work them again, and by that time we'll have calves. We'll spend that time getting prepared and trying to fix all those mistakes, and so that we maybe don't lose a horn again, and that Big Joe works better. It's all part of the growing stages and growing pains of raising these animals. So a lot of you know, and if you don't know, if you're a new subscriber, guys, I'm just trying to grow the herd. It's that simple. I want to be able to grow and expand. Here on this property, we're getting a little bit to our maximum of bison, and hopefully in the near future, we're able to get some more land, and we want to just keep growing the herd. That's basically all we want to do. And the main reason is, one, I do this for conservation. This is my conservation herd. None of these animals will go to slaughter. They are just as my breeding stock, is another way to put it. You've got Dunbar and the cows, and then you've got Big Joe and those two ladies. I've essentially have two herds, and I get that question a lot. I will be mixing females and males. I will be switching that up late this summer during the breeding season, so that won't happen until June, July, and August. So that'll be some big stuff happening later on when these females start coming in heat. And you know, we'll see what will happen with Big Joe and some of my original females that I have out here, and the polar bears. Don't pay attention to the polar bear out here. So I got a lot of stuff happening. Could have, after getting some of the cows preg checked today, we could have I think maybe 7 babies, and we could have them, I think, maybe in May. We'll hopefully see some red dogs here pretty soon, and that's really exciting. May, June, and even into possibly July, we'll have red dogs out here very soon, and I'm really excited about that, and I know you guys are excited as well. So today, watching this, I know it's hard to watch and it's intense, and I try to bring you as close in as possible, but I want you to see what really goes on behind behind the scenes of these animals. You see them out here grazing. You see all the majestic scenery and all those things that these guys provide and that you see. But there's things that we got to do in the background so that we can have these animals and that they can be healthy and that they can have red dogs. And you know, those are exciting things, but it takes a lot of work to get there, as you can tell. Thank you guys for watching us today. Thank you for being part of working the bison. Something that we have to do to take care of these animals, and we try to keep them as healthy as possible. So I know it's crazy and exciting, and I know you're probably at the edge of your seat sometimes, but that's just part of it. And we love what we do. Thank you for watching this journey and being a part of it. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, guys. You're going to want to watch and keep up. We are raising the American bison. This is the nation's mammal. We just love and take care of these animals, and we're just very fortunate and lucky to do it. And if you want to see some crazy wild action, or if you want to see Dunbar, being silly, you can watch all that right here. Strictly all bison right here on Cross Timbers Bison. Today I want to give a special thanks to my family. I want to thank my wife for helping today. She did a lot of the numbers on the registration numbers. She wrote down the weights that we keep track of. Kevin, of course, helps take care of my bison all the time. He helps me do a lot of the work around here, and you know, Kevin was out there today helping us as well. I want to thank Doc Parsons for coming and doing his thing. Great guy, great experience, great knowledge for these animals, and very thankful for him. I want to thank his grandson too, Brandon. Kid's not afraid of these animals. He gets in there, and even with Big Joe, he was out there, and he can learn a lot from his grandpa. And so I want to thank my buddy Cole and Chandler from Texas for being here and filming everything. I had to fire my wife from filming because she just gets too nervous, and she just can't handle it because she just cares so much. She's worried about the safety of us. So Cole came up and brought Chandler with him, and I just thank them for that, being here and being a part of that. And just, it was a wild ride for them. I'm sure it's their first time seeing bison being handled like this, and so I hope they come back and see me again and do this again. So I want to thank them. I want to thank Boone, or Daniel from Arms Family Homestead. He always helps. He's used to working animals, and he's a quality guy I can always count on. He may make a video or two of it too as well. So, and I don't mind that. But I just want to thank all of them because I couldn't do any of this without all those people. And so thankful for them as well. And just appreciate you guys for being a part of this whole thing, because it is about a family. It's about a community. And that's what these awesome animals provide us. And so just want to thank all you guys. Thank you for following. All right, it's pretty over there. So, oh, excuse me, I just burped. But the poking and the prodding looks goofy too. She thinks we're trying to get her in. You gonna move?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
No, just because you keep on.
Creeping.
Your way out of frame.
Oh.
Yeah, and
gotcha.
I feel like you're not gonna overlap B-roll with this because you're talking.
Yeah. Am I good? Because I will move. I'm just a teacher coach, you know?
Yeah. I say you take one. Let's just be on.
This is how you move a bison herd. Dunbar! First things first is I gotta get Eleanor out into the main pasture. The main herd is down there. Oh, there's a helicopter. So it's been a few days and animals are doing great, but after the working, the animals have calmed down a little bit. Rooster's back, but we still have the calves out here with Eleanor. But one thing I want to do is I think now it's time to let Eleanor back out with the herd. And so she's been pacing this fence. She's been wanting out for a while now. And I think it's time we need to get her with the main herd. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna open some gates and see if I can get her to get down there with the main herd. And then I'm gonna move the main herd to a lot they haven't been in a long time. And so I'm really excited about that. I'll tell you more about it. Got some normal cubes. Hopefully that'll get her in. Try to get her a little bit closer. We'll see. Well, I tried to go out in the pasture and round her up, but that didn't work. So the rest of the herd is up here now. And so when the rest of the herd showed up, Eleanor came up. Good morning, Dunbar. Hey, big boy. I still don't know if I can get her. I still have to cut her away from the calves, and that's going to be a little difficult, but yeah, she's still a little skittish from being worked. It takes a while. Alright, so the main herd was down in the pasture. They saw me trying to get Eleanor up and separate her, and I don't know if you recognize this pen, but this is the holding area where we actually caught the bison. I caught them the night before we worked them, so I caught them Friday night. And then they were in here. We fed them a bale of hay just to calm them down some. And they're actually in here now. I'm surprised. There's a bale of hay in here, and I think they come up and get some dry roughage. Kind of surprised they're back in here after being caught in here. So they know now what it is, what it's used for. But we'll use it for other reasons now. And we did the same thing. We set an 8-foot post in the ground, hung a top rail, and then put our continuous fence panels just like we did with Big Joe. Hey, big guy. I bet you want something. I bet he smells some of these. You're not too mad at us, are you? Yeah. We're about to use these right here to get you to move. I'm gonna give you a couple of them just so you know I have some. And then I'm gonna move you. We're gonna move to greener pastures. You good with that, Dunbar? All right. So I'm gonna move them to the new pasture that they're in. One of the new paddocks. Super green. We haven't had animals on it since maybe last November or December, so you're looking at 4+ months since these animals have been off of it. Kevin threw some wheat, some rye and oats out in this field, and tried to get it to grow. It wouldn't grow hardly in the winter, lack of rain, and then boom, it's taken off here in the past couple of months, so it's time to get the bison out on it. What do you want? Huh? This is how you move a bison herd. Dunbar! Come on, buddy. Come on. So here comes the main herd. Dunbar, he's just off doing his own thing. Maya, you ready? We gotta go open the gate really quick so I don't get crowded. Come on! this is one of those days where it's very gratifying today. A lot of hard work, a lot of time, effort, money that goes into this. I built this last spring. This is a decent size paddock here. This is one of our biggest paddocks. And then the next big project was cross fencing. We cross fenced so we could get more paddocks. And in the meantime, we got Big Joe kind of in between there, and that changed stuff up. And then, as you saw in a 5-part series, getting my water system established, getting that automatic water system established. And so once we were able to get the automatic water system established, this is the result. We're able to rotate our animals, and now that I've got the big herd down here in this pretty good sized lot, they've got a water system now, and so we don't have to worry about that. We're not feeding them. We don't have to feed them, really. Winter's over. Look at what we got. This is what these guys do very well. This is what they're known for, is the grazing, of course. These guys have plenty of grass. But what I want you to see is Kevin threw out, he knows a lot more about plants than I do, a lot more. Something I need to study more on and learn more about. But Kevin threw out some wheat, some rye, and some oats back in the wintertime, early winter at some point, and he threw those out, and we didn't have a very wet winter, but the spring has came on, and slowly this stuff has came up, and I want you to just look at it. It's super green. There's some spring grasses left. The summer grasses hadn't hit yet, but this looks like it could be some rye or some wheat. These bison are gonna love it. We haven't had animals on this since November, maybe last year, and they hit this one hard because it was their first time last summer to really graze this, so we really wanted it to recover. In the meantime, kind of threw out some of those type of grasses to see if they'd take off, and we don't do that a lot. We don't cultivate here. That's just Kevin threw those seeds out, and some of them took and some of them didn't, and we're happy with that. But this is what I love to see, is those bison out there grazing. And so we'll have them in here for a while. They've got plenty to eat, and what that means is I'm able to, because I've let the big herd out now, I'm able to move a Big Joe and the 2 ladies around as well. So that's exciting stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this long process of just establishing a water system, establishing paddocks so we could get that regenerative ag going and rotate our animals, and also working the bison and are doing part of our spring vaccinations. Man, that is so exciting. I tell you, that is gratifying as well. And I will say that not only is it a huge accomplishment to be able to raise these awesome animals, it is just that what we did with Big Joe and Doc pushing us and saying, you've got to be the dominant one. You've got to let him know that you're the dominant one. You know, him pushing us, he was like coaching me. I felt like the student again. Well, I'm always the student with him. He's so knowledgeable. But you know, we were all there. Had some close friends there. Boone was there. Our mom's family homestead, Kevin, my wife, Doc was there, and his grandson Brandon, and it was so fun. Had the trailer loaded up. We're gonna put Big Joe in it. We're gonna take him to Doc's place in Stratford. It's gonna be an even longer day. And in the midst of that, I pulled the trailer up and we got him in. We finally got him. That was just amazing, and that's probably, I'll have to say, probably one of my top accomplishments as far as raising bison in 3 years. And we're coming up on exactly, actually we've been doing this for 3 years. We're past 3 years, yeah. So I will have to say, not only having the bison and being able to work them here in our own facility, and besides having your first calf here on your own property, that's a big accomplishment to see those red dogs out there, which hopefully we'll be having some very soon, very soon. I would say getting Big Joe on the scale, weighing 1885, getting him the proper vaccinations that he needed, is probably one of the biggest accomplishments we've had. But the other cool part about that situation is we had everybody with us, and we had people there that were a part of that big accomplishment, and so that made it all better. I'll stop talking. It was a good time. Thank you guys for watching. Why are all these bison getting slaughtered?
A problem is growing at the Grand Canyon.
Growing herd of bison near the Grand Canyon is threatening some of its fragile ecosystem.
Bison have been causing trouble for Grand Canyon Park officials. A herd of bison on the north rim of the canyon have caused damage to the park's resources.
The bison population there continues to multiply.
They also have a negative impact on the water quality on the north rim as well. They wallow around in the water, and it creates a real E. coli problem because that water table feeds directly into Roaring Springs, and that's the water source for folks that are living, working, and also recreating at the north rim.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker with Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back. It is so pretty right now and so green, but the bison are doing great. And we're getting close to calving season, red dog season, which will be super fun and exciting when that happens, because that's one of our favorite times of the year. Most favorite times of the year is seeing those red dogs out here. Oh, looky there, one of the fan favorites came to say hi. Mr. Nosy, right there himself. Dunbar it is. The inspector, aka Inspector, the boss down here with the original Cross Timbers herd. I've been getting a lot of emails the past week or so, and it's one specific article you may know about, something I want to talk to you about real quick. News article that's related to the Grand Canyon National Park. So I want to kind of help you out with that topic today, because I think it's important, and I'm just a small bison owner, producer, and so, but one of the things that people are concerned about is, why are they going to shoot these animals? Here's a couple of things I want you guys to know about. One, think about this location. It's in Grand Canyon National Park. So you know that if you've ever been to Grand Canyon, you know what the landscape is like, you know what the topography is like. And when I say topography, I'm talking about, what does the land actually physically look like? What are the features that are there? You can tell what this topography is. It's low, flat, some rolling hills. This is just southern Oklahoma, right? But look at all this green. There is lots of grass. This is our hay lot right here, where Maya and the ATV is. It's a lot of pretty green grass, okay? I want you to think about this part of Arizona, or this part of Grand Canyon National Park where these bison are located. It seems like they are very overpopulated. That's the number 2 reason. And the correlation here is, if you've got overpopulated animals, bison in this case, in this national park, what they can really do, and cattle can do the same thing, they can do it worse than bison actually, is if you got that many animals and they're overgrazing an area that doesn't even produce enough grass as it is, because of the land there, so specifically for that location, if they don't produce enough forage for these animals, they're going to starve to death. So before you start getting mad at the National Park Service, I really want you to think about that. And I'm not for the National Park Service and what they're doing. I'm not against you that they shouldn't shoot them, okay? But here's a couple of things that I want you to think about though. Think about the roughage and think about the food source that they have in that area. You've got too many animals they're running out of food, which means that these animals are going to starve to death. And I've heard, even before this article came out, that those animals specifically in that park are malnutritioned and that they're not up to the potential where these bison can be. And I'm talking about full growth animals. Remember, bison, it takes them about 6 years to fully mature. And I've heard that those bison are much smaller and thinner animals. That's what I've heard. I've been to the Grand Canyon. I've seen in the views and everything, but I don't know specifically where these bison are. But of just being to the Grand Canyon, I know that what the land is like. I understand it, and it's not like this. Considering that, what the land is and what it provides, and then number two, how many animals it actually has on. I think they have over 600. They have too many bison at this national park is my understanding. Seems like, just by reading the article, the same article that you've been reading, it seems to me like the park has actually put some research into this. It says that they've collared some of their animals. To see how big their herd actually is. They've actually relocated 88 animals in the most recent years. And when they say relocation, they've got to go out into those areas, those remote areas, round up the bison. I don't even know if they have working pens or whatever. I don't know if they have any of that, but they've got to catch them and then put them in a trailer and then haul them. So they're part of the Intertribal Council, which means that they take animals and they will give them to certain Native American tribes, depending on whoever needs those animals, or just to relocate. So they've put a lot of conservation effort into this specific national park by relocating those animals. And guys, if you ever watch my videos, my animals are pretty calm. However, imagine going out into the Grand Canyon National Park, where of the North Rim, specifically where this is located, and catching these bison. That is a very difficult process. And so I think this park has actually put out some effort into this, and they've helped relocate some of the animals. Now, I think they've realized how detrimental these bison are to the national park and what they're doing to the land. Because what happens is, when you have too many of these animals, you can see the cattle from the neighbor, they're hanging out too. If you've got too many animals, they can overgraze. And when you overgraze, you're gonna cause problems in the soil. And when you do that, you're gonna really damage a lot of things. But if you do overgraze, you can really hurt the fundamentals of what Mother Nature provides, and that's the soil. You've got to have good soil. Here, we don't have a problem because it hasn't been overgrazed. We started rotational grazing here. And in a national park, that's not what you want. You do not want overgrazing, because the reason we have those national parks is to protect the land. That's the most important part. And yes, we want to protect those bison, and we love those bison. We want to see them out there and just let them be in nature and doing their thing. We can't have that in a national park. We won't be able to have those animals if you don't have a good foundation, if you don't have good soil, and then you can't get those grasses that these animals love. So next thing, they're gonna take, I think, 12 applicants total, and they're gonna be able to shoot these animals. And I know that doesn't seem very ethical to you. I know it seems a little harsh that they're gonna go out and actually shoot them. Here's the positive thing about that is, I don't know how many specific animals they're shooting, but I know they're just trying to really reduce that population. I do know, according to the article and the National Park Service, they are letting those applicants take at least one bison home. So they're not just shooting them and letting them lay out there. That meat and that source of all the essential things that a bison provides will be used and will be taken somewhere. So if you're one of the applicants that applies for that and gets to go in and shoot one of those bison through that way of controlling their population, okay, you're doing the National Park Service a favor. And in return, they're gonna let you take home a bison. I don't want to start any heated conversations or anything, but this is nature, and it's just how it is. Unfortunately, when you got them in national parks like this, and that's Eleanor. So guys, I don't know if you're on board with me or what. I just know this from as a bison producer, and I know this from a guy who's actually worked in the National Park Service. I can get both sides of it. I'm not supporting one or the other, but I want you to kind of think of the positive things about this. And something else that you may not have ever realized, but one of the greatest national parks in the entire world, which is Yellowstone National Park, where some of the best conservation genetics lie in Yellowstone National Park of these bison, and a way that they culled their herd, in case you didn't know, they were shot and killed. And I don't know what they did with a lot of their meat, and I don't want to get into that too much because I really honestly don't know, and that's a whole nother subject. But the reason they slaughtered the animals at Yellowstone National Park was because of the disease called brucellosis. See, brucellosis came from, most of that disease was spread from elk up in that area. It's a pretty common disease up there. As far as bison go, they can spread it to cattle, but it really generates from elk. Here we really don't have to worry about brucellosis, but that's one of the reasons they were culling so many bison at Yellowstone, as well as their population was growing. But now they do a lot of effort in saving and reducing the herd. They actually take them to another handling facility where they go through a quarantine process. I think it's called Fort Peck. Doc Parsons, the guy I work with a lot, he's actually been up there and helped them do a lot of work. And so they're actually also part of the Intertribal Council, and so they quarantine those animals, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and money to quarantine those animals at Yellowstone National Park so that they can give them to certain tribes all across the country. A couple other things I want to talk to you about is I want you to also think about a very important person in the bison industry, and somebody who has made a lot of strides for the bison industry in North America. A guy by the name of Ted Turner. I watched an interview on YouTube of Ted Turner, what got him started and what really brought interest to bison. And if you don't know the story about Ted Turner, there's plenty of research out there on Ted Turner, but Ted Turner said, the meat is so wonderful on this animal, which I've talked about before. He said meat is the reason why this animal has been brought back. Yes, this animal has lots of great values, and it's a special animal. It's our national mammal, and we just love and appreciate seeing this animal. I love the culture of the Native Americans, and how essential that this animal was to the Native Americans. And so I love all that history and culture of these animals, and seeing them in Yellowstone and places like that. But meat is what Ted Turner really focused in on, is what brought these animals back. And I don't know if you know, but he owns a huge portion of the animals in a bison in North America. He has, I think, the largest bison herds in North America, and he has put a lot of contributions and time into the bison. But the reason the bison is occurring and has been brought back so well is because of the great source of meat it provides to so many people. With that being said, I know these people are going to shoot some of these bison to try to stable off the population at this Grand Canyon National Park. But they also get to keep the meat, like I said. So I want you to think about that. And you also can think about the Native Americans, guys. The Native Americans hunted and thrived on these animals for so many years. And they hunted them and used every part of the animal that they could and didn't waste anything. I know it seems harsh and it seems rough for these animals to be shot like that, but it's been going on for a long time, and that's part of stabling the population in a limited area. Guys, I wish I could go and rescue some of them, but that's not something that I can do, guys. That's just part of the Intertribal Council and the park trying to put effort into getting some of those animals out of that park. They put the effort has been there. This is just a way that they're going to try to reduce the herd, to try to save the land in the park, which is the most important thing, is
which is why we have parks. It's to protect those natural resources and protect the land. Yes, it's awesome to have these animals, but you also got to take care of the land, because if you don't have the land, you can't have these animals. And that seems like that's something going on at Grand Canyon National Park. I wish I could go rescue them, and I know you want me to, but we don't have the opportunity to do that. So thank you guys for watching. I know this is a tough subject, and I'm not trying to jump on one side or the other. I just want you to understand a little bit more, because you guys have reached out to me. I don't know everything there is to know about the bison world. I really don't. There's a lot of other guys out there that have had a lot of experience in legislation and with these sort of issues that have occurred over time. You guys reached out to me. These are my ideas and my views of this. I've been on both sides of this. I've worked in the national park, which helped me get started on loving these animals, and also I'm a rancher. I'm a bison rancher, so I can see both sides of it. And unfortunately, this is the situation that's going on in that Grand Canyon National Park. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave some comments below. Hit the like button if you guys like this video, and subscribe to me if you want to see more of this. And don't forget, here pretty soon, red dog season is right around the corner, and then there's a cow that I think is going to have a calf soon. So pay very close attention to that, because you never know when you're going to see the first red dog of 2021. Thank you guys. Well, hey guys, Dusty Baker with Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back. We, as a family, made another trip to Missouri. We are in Belton, Missouri, and we're here to buy some bison. Aren't we, Brooks? Yeah, we're expanding real fast, so stay tuned, guys. That's a coyote. Sure is. Still woolly.
There's about 9 of them, the last we counted. Can you see?
Yeah.
Say, Brooke, see, there's Buddy. Arabella. That's Arabella.
Look, Brooks, right here. Put your hand out.
Horse. Horse. Horsey? Female. She always has female babies.
Really?
They're always black.
That's pretty cool.
And they're always big.
What you doing? Huh? Better. Get your little fingers.
Yeah, don't get just go back, buddy. You know, you can't be so close so quickly. Brooks will like you, I'm sure. Pretty horsey.
Yeah. Is that hers from last year? No.
And
That's
she's
pretty
got
neat.
her stripe down the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very unusual too.
Yeah, it is unusual.
She's gonna probably be really dark black.
Yeah.
Because you can see the darkness in her face.
Yeah, already born though. Alright, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to get the yearlings pinned up, sort through them, hopefully load some up. They come into this pen a lot faster than I thought. That didn't take long. She's about to. That one right there. Something's wrong with her foot.
We made it back. Obviously, too late, it's dark. Not the best situation. I was hoping we'd get here a little quicker, but we hung out with Peter and Jim for a long time, showing us around the place and whatnot, but we made it here. Got 9 animals in the trailer. We're expanding, obviously. I'm gonna talk to you more about that, but right now, I've got yearlings in the back, and then I've got some bulls in the front. So I've got to, I'm gonna put the yearlings with my about to be yearlings, what I call my calves, they're about to be yearlings. I'm gonna put them with them. I'm gonna put the bulls separate in the new pen that Kevin and I built a couple weeks ago before we actually handled our animals here for our spring vaccination. So it was a long trip up to Missouri, but we're glad to be home, and just like I said, it's not ideal. Luckily we have the barn light and the moon is bright tonight, so we'll take that for sure. But I'll back up here, let them out, leave them alone, and then I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. All right, so we made it back safely. Got them unloaded last night. Everything went good. Let them out. They took their time. I couldn't really film it for you. It's hard to get it in the dark. We do have some lights out here, and there's a full moon, but wasn't enough to really show you. So, but just want to show you guys where we're keeping them. This is the new lot that Kevin and I built before we actually worked our bison, which you saw a couple weeks ago. But got 4 bulls here, healthy, good-looking bulls. And then I got some yearlings over here. I still got them some hay out. Got these guys some hay, just so they have something to munch on in here. And what we'll probably do is we're gonna feed them out of here. You guys know how important it is to put them in a home base. Well, this is their home base for now. It's a good lot just for these 4 2-year-old bulls. And then we'll let them out in places like this where they can graze and whatnot. So they'll have grass, hay, and feed. So you guys are probably wondering, Dusty, what in the world are you doing with 4 2-year-old bulls and 5 yearlings? Well, there's a lot of questions there, but some of you have asked and some of you have been interested in, do we create a meat line? Well, this is the beginning process of a meat line. I know some of you may be upset about that. It may come at you the wrong way. I want to promise you something right now. I am not slaughtering or processing any of the animals that you've got to know along this journey. Dunbar, Eleanor, Peaches, any of them, guys, I want you to understand they will not be slaughtered, okay? The calves I have right now will not be slaughtered. I went and purchased these animals from another producer to kind of speed up our journey. It takes bison a long time. It's like a 4 or 5 year process just to get babies where you can, or to have bison calves where you can actually sell them. If you want to sell them for meat, if you want to sell them for breeding, it can take 4 or 5 years depending on what animals you have. And so you've been with me a while. Remember, we just started off with yearlings, and it just takes a while. But my wife and I have come together and try to create a business plan, and we're wanting to get into the meat side of it, because whether you know it or not, and I may have mentioned it, these are some of the healthiest animals. This is some of the healthiest meat that you can eat. And that's all I'm going to get into right now. And I know you guys probably have lots of questions for me and what we're going to do with these animals. We're not changing a whole lot, but we're going to bring you some new stuff that I'm really excited about, something I've been a huge fan of for a long time, and that I just love to eat. So I just want you guys to be ready for it, and I'm just letting you know there's some good stuff happening and there's some good stuff coming. I will keep you updated on how Cross Timbers Bison is changing. We're still keeping our 2 herds, Big Joe herd and our Dunbar herd. Nothing is changing there, okay? Stay with me, I promise. We're just having some new additions and some new things happening with the Cross Timbers Bison herd that we're getting into. So stay tuned with that, and I'll keep you updated, and I'll educate you, kind of, sort of, naturally, just being a teacher, that's what I do, and keep you in the loop on what's going on and what we're doing with these animals. And so
I just want to thank Peter Cole. Peter's been in this industry for about as long as Doc Parsons has, and he's really into the meat side of things. He's got KC Buffalo Company. If you guys don't know what KC Buffalo Company is, it's located just south of Kansas City, and he supplies a lot of bison meat to the Kansas City area, and he has lots of customers that he's built a reputation with for, I don't know, the past 30 years or so. And I just want to give a huge shout out to him. You can go also watch one of his interviews with my buddy Noah at Broken Arrow Bison. Noah already knew Peter, and they're close to each other. I mean, like Kansas and Missouri, they're a lot closer, so they work with each other more. And you can learn a lot more about Peter with that interview with Noah at Broken Arrow Bison, my buddy there. You can go check him out and kind of get a backstory on everything, and Peter's view and history with the bison. And that's good stuff. That's priceless. And he spent a lot of time with Marissa and I and Brooks over that Saturday when we were there picking up these bison. Showed us around, showed us his store and everything like that. But you can, he's a great guy, very knowledgeable, and didn't hesitate to answer any of the questions that we were asking him. So just very thankful for Peter and giving us the time of his day and his busy weekend. But he's been doing this for a long time. You guys can go check him out. It's at KC Buffalo Company. I think you can check him out online, or if you're in the Missouri, Kansas area, he's just south of Kansas City in the town of Belton, Missouri. He's got some cool stuff. He's got jerky, summer sausage, any cut of bison, you name it, liver, heart, shanks. I know a lot of the shanks go to some cancer patients and stuff like that, for the bone marrow, which I think is amazing. That's amazing. I hope I can help people do that someday. Great guy, been in the industry for a long time, part of the Missouri Bison Association, very involved, and he supports people like Marissa and I and Noah in doing what we do. So bison here, I'll keep you updated with them, and so just stay in touch with me. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the 3-part series of working the bison, and I just want to thank Cole and Chandler again for coming up and filming. Well, it was great. We had a lot of fun and got a lot of cool footage, and that's why we do it, so we can bring it right to you right here. And Big Herd, keep you updated on them. They're doing great. Dunbar and the ladies, they're in rotation right now, back and forth from pasture to pasture, doing a little mob grazing is probably what you call it. Kevin's helped me do a lot of that with the rotational grazing, so that's going great. And Big Joe and Kit and Flo, they're doing great. They're back and forth, let them out in the pasture and whatnot, so they're getting that green grass as well. So anyways, stay in touch, guys, and thank you. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker, Cross Timbers Bison. There's a reason I'm whispering. I don't know why I'm whispering, really, but I'm trying to be maybe sneaky because look what happened last night. Oh, looky there, first look. That's what happened last night. First baby of 2021. And guess who it was? Kit. That's who I thought was gonna have their baby. So this is the Big Joe herd. You got Kit and you got Flo, and of course Big Joe. Kit, Flo, and Big Joe. Hey, I like that. And now a new member. So Kit, she's always been a little feisty, but so she's on extra feisty right now, protecting that baby. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. See, up there, putting herself between me and that calf. That is so awesome. Doing what she's supposed to be doing. There you go. I'm not going to be in front of the screen, which some of you may appreciate that, but I'm just going to talk to you a little bit and let you watch. Calf is doing good. So yesterday I was over here doing some stuff and I saw some fluid coming out of her yesterday afternoon. I knew that she was close. Signs were pointing that she was very close. Kevin came home yesterday evening about 8:30 and the calf was on the ground. I think he just missed it. She had just had her little calf. What was really interesting is Big Joe actually was eating the afterbirth. Very different. I don't know if that's a thing or if that's very normal, but no, I've never seen that before. Some of you may have seen it, but the calf could barely get up. I mean, that's how Kevin just missed it. Kevin thinks it's a heifer, and I'm getting some looks here that it could be a heifer as well, which is great. To have a Big Joe heifer, and this cow, Kit, she is so pretty. I think she's black, and she's got a pretty head, so it'd be nice to have another little kit. Should be feeling good now. I'm not gonna get too close or anything. Big Joe destroyed this bale of hay out here the other day. Oh, there goes the hay bale. Hey, dude. You're gonna... Anyways, Big Joe has been very protective of Kit and the calf since it's been born. You guys leave me a comment below if you've ever heard of a bison bull eating the afterbirth from one of its own calves out here. I'm not sure. I was talking to Kevin. I don't know if it's because it's in a small herd. He's always been with these two females, Kit and Flo, and I don't know if he's always done that or not, but I think it's very interesting. Does this happen in Yellowstone and a lot of those big national parks? I'm not sure. You know, and you get those big herds where you got a bull with lots of females. I don't know if this even happens. I got these animals, I think, in September, October, and the previous owner told me that they typically have them in May. Here we are, May, and we've got our calf. This is the earliest one we've ever had born on the Cross Timbers Ranch, so it's very exciting to have your first one here, and it's Big Joe's, so it's our first Big Joe baby. By the looks of it, it's a heifer, so that's exciting. The big herd, I don't know who's next. That's the next question, is I don't know who will be next. I was thinking maybe Flo would be next because they typically had theirs in May. I don't know, we'll see, but this is super exciting and fun. I'm keeping my distance because Kit already is a little bit spicy, and then she's gonna be a little bit extra protective here with this calf, which is great. So everybody else is doing good. Kevin did tell me that, dang it, I wish I could have seen it. I'm gonna try to catch a live birth, bison birth. I do want to catch that someday, but it's all about good timing, obviously, because it seems like most of the time they have them at night. You just got to catch their signs early if I want to be able to do that. But I think that would be amazing. So don't hold me to that, but I'm gonna try to get a live birth. The tough part is you're dealing with this animal, and when they've got a calf, you can see this protection, or they're in labor. You don't want to get too close to these animals. But he did tell me that once the calf was down, and he was here to witness this, but he said the big herd was all hyped up and jumping around. The bulls were hyped up, the yearlings were hyped up. It was like a big celebration is what it sounded like, according to Kevin. I wish I could have seen that, but I was already home hanging out with Brooks and Marissa. So he said something about the smell maybe of the afterbirth and all that all the bison could smell it, and that's just a very unique smell that only happens, you know, so many times a year. And it just got everybody hyped up, and I think that's so cool, and I wish I could have seen it. And so maybe I'll catch it sometime and get it for you. So, but anyways, thank you guys for watching. Exciting right here. I've been talking about it for a long time. First red dog is right here out of Big Joe's herd. Our first red dog of 2021. This is the moment that you just get so excited, and it's just a good feeling inside when you have your first red dog, because this is why we do this. All the work, everything that goes into it is because of right here, because you get to see that baby right there, and it makes the biggest difference in the world. This is your motivation right here to work and go through all the effort and time and money for these animals, is that right there, because it's just special to have that red dog out here. So anyways, thank you guys for following. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to us, and I'll show you more of these guys. Thank you. Dang, dude. Getting some frustration out. Such a stud. Don't come by me yet. Oh, you're going to. All right. Easy. Well, they're all gonna come by me. Hey guys, it's Dusty Baker with Cross Timbers Bison. Welcome back to our channel. I'm gonna get the feed bin filled up today. It's been almost a year since I filled it up, so I gotta switch the ball hitch off my truck and get the pin hitch on here, and then I'm gonna get this thing out. I'm gonna take it to the neighbors, the Hardens down the road, but I'm gonna take this down there because the semi truck that's coming from where I'm getting my feed from, the driveway to this property, it's too tight for a semi truck to get in here with feed. So I'm gonna take it to the neighbors where they actually drive through and they actually fill their bins up. I'm gonna park it there, and it's like maybe a mile down the road, which is super convenient, and have really good neighbors. So he's gonna let me pull it down there. The feed truck is gonna come fill this up, and then we're gonna bring it back here. So stay tuned. Thank you guys. getting some feed, and I know you guys are probably wondering, well, Dusty, why didn't you take this bin and get it filled up where I get feed from? I get a special blend of feed in Davis, Oklahoma, and you're probably wondering, why didn't you take it over there? Well, this is a big dude. This is, I'm not even sure how much it holds, but I want to say it's maybe, I'm getting 6 tons. So, you know, we'll see how far that goes. I think last year I got 11,000 pounds worth. Last year, what we did is I used this, I bought it used and I got it filled up, and I used it to put out in our pasture to try to push some of our bison, our females, to try to get them to have babies earlier in the summer and early or late spring, because I didn't want them having their babies in the middle of the summer here in Oklahoma because it gets very hot, and I just didn't want to do that. I used that last summer, but the reason I didn't drive it over to Stillwater Milling, which is probably like 30 minutes total to drive over there from the farm. I do have a 2500 truck now. I've got a heavier truck than I did last year, but I just did not feel comfortable driving this sucker all the way over there and so slow with the weight. It just made me feel really uncomfortable because I've already been down that road once, and so I didn't like the feeling of it. And plus, it's a hilly area where you have to get back to the farm. I called them up and they said they would deliver to me, and so because that area is too tight where our farm is, I had to come over here to the neighbors because they actually get feed right here in their feed bins. Luckily, good neighbors will let me come over here and use the space where the 18-wheeler can actually turn around or back up and has room to pull in. So that's why I'm here. Just didn't feel comfortable driving it over there and back with this much weight. And not saying my truck couldn't do it, it probably could. And the other thing is, my wife and I actually had an accident where we were pulling this thing with my half-ton truck. Didn't go very well. It's pretty scary. An axle broke on here, and that's the reason why. But I just didn't really like it. So that's why I'm doing this now. Feed truck's on his way, and I'm going to help him get this filled up, and then I'm going to take it a mile down the road back to the farm, and then we're going to set it up for the bison. Give me a move up. I know. Last year I got 11. We're gonna go back down to the house. I'm gonna park in the driveway, and the semi truck is going to pull on the road and actually unload it from there. He thinks it's gonna be a little bit too heavy as well. So if that doesn't tell you anything, the guy who delivers feed all the time says that this bin, it's a huge bin. It's pretty big. He said you're gonna have a tough time pulling it. So I'm listening to the guy that does this for a profession, part of his job, and I'm gonna pull over here in the driveway, and I've got to go maybe 200 yards, so it's not very far. Nice guy, trying to help me out. So there we go. Attempting to do it. Switching things up, he got in, so we're gonna fill it up here at the ranch. So I like it. Now we know. He's gonna pull down here. Oh, that's where I'm gonna put. I see what he's doing. He wants me to back up, and that's where he's gonna fill it. I'm gonna go back down here.
kind of feel like a real farmer now. Got grain out here, got the 18-wheeler, got the feed bin. I feel like a big boy now. Kind of fun. I still don't, I can't comprehend how it goes from there, up that, into there. I mean, I get it, but you know what? It's like amazing. I think so. Lots of feed. We're out here in our yearling / calf lot. I've got my calves. They're calves, but they're about to be yearlings. I've got a calf that was born in May and then 2 in June. So, and then Noah's calf is in here. So I'm pretty much gonna start calling them yearlings because they're a year old pretty much when the summer starts. And then I've got the new ones that I bought from Peter Cole up in Missouri. I wanna be able to split this thing so that they can get some self-feeding, and then I can got these bulls are pinned up right now away, so I can back this up in here. Eleanor's little bull. What are you doing, you knucklehead? So my plan is to back this up in here. I measured, it's 8 feet wide, 8 feet wide here. This is a 12-foot gate. Math doesn't line up. Yes, I know. But once I get it in here, I've got to do some figuring. I've got gates here that I could probably use to attach it so we don't have any issues. Got these bars here. I don't know. We'll play the first time. I'm going to split it and try to knock out 2 different herds with 1 feeder. So wish me luck. Okay, another change of plans. Shocking, I know, right? Going with the flow here. So I tried to split this lot and this lot here where the bulls are hanging out with this, because the feed bunks are on each side. It just wasn't going to work out, basically, and I didn't like it. I didn't want to put a bunch of panels up, and you're just raising the risk of bison getting hurt. So what I did is, there's actually a concrete pad here. Put this one here last year. I'm gonna put it in here with the bulls for now, so they've got a concrete surface to use. I'm gonna go ahead and raise these up just a little bit, see how much feed will come out, and it'll be automatic. So the more that they eat, it'll come through there. See, that's the thing about bison, guys, is, you know, you can creep feed cattle and whatnot, but these bison are gonna have this self-choice feed. They don't overeat. That is a great thing about bison. You know, cattle, if they get into feed or too much alfalfa hay or something like that, they can eat too much and bloat. With this situation and this feed, the bison can control how much they're eating. They won't overdo it so that they don't get sick and swell up and die. So we hopefully don't have those issues. Last year, this is pretty successful for us doing this for my main herd. So I'm gonna raise these up. There's so much pressure built up in these actual bins where Eleanor's bull, he's always trying to get into stuff. Have to shut you out of here. But my point is these bins get tight because of all that weight and pressure. These can get really tricky to open, so I basically have to raise them up with a hammer. I'm just gonna open this half. I'm gonna open this half over here so that they can not fight over it and get access to it, and hopefully that goes well. So let's break these apart real quick and I just probably want just maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch depth, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So that feed can start coming out here, and every time that they eat, it falls. So that's pretty good right there. If there's some feed so that they know it's here. So I found that this is the easiest way to open it. About 1 inch.
You can actually see it moving right here whenever I move that. So that's perfect. That's all it is. Every time I eat, pull it back, more fall down. So works perfect. It's time to let them in. I'll let these guys in here. Don't come by me yet. Oh, you're going to. All right. Easy. Well, they're all gonna come by me. Get one out of here. You guys will be happy with that. Well, this will have to work for now. At least we got the bulls. They're gonna be fed, so that's good. The yearlings are kind of hanging out here. They're getting some of that good grass right now, so they're hitting it hard. So I've got to figure out, we'll just keep self-feeding them for now, or we'll just keep hand feeding these guys. When I say hand feeding, we're not going out and feeding them by our hand. We're taking them buckets and feeding them that way. But these guys will be able to eat whenever they want. Self-choice, free choice feeding, and I gotta figure out in the meantime what I can do for them about automatic feeding. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys adjusting with me on the fly. Sometimes you gotta make adjustments and try to do things the right way and try to do it safely, which I've learned from mistakes about using big equipment, and it's important to be safe first. But just doing some different things for the Cross Timbers bison herd by feeding these guys and trying to get a meat side of things going. So and I hope you guys understand a little bit more about why we're doing this. This is the best meat that you can get around. It's the best lean meat that you can get. It's high in protein, low in cholesterol, low in fat, less fat than chicken, and it's good for you. It's very good for you. It's healthy, and it's just tasty. It's tasty. I know it's hard, and you're probably wondering, you know, why are you doing this to bison? But this is why we actually have these animals, is because of the meat that they provide. They were worth taking and, you know, putting that effort out to save these animals. And also, they're just beautiful creatures that God created for us to look at and to have, and to roam the Great Plains and to roam and take care of the soil and take care of the environment by doing what they do and that they've done for hundreds of years. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed to us, follow us along raising the American bison. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. Stay tuned, guys.
Time to get up and add some spice to your life. Cross Timbers Bison Jerky. Now in jalapeno cheddar sticks. Get you some before it's gone.